All right, well, we're back. We're back with another episode on the 97 Toyota Corolla. Small maintenance issue, shouldn't be too big a deal, but the light bulbs have all burned out in the speedometer head. So we got to figure out how to get that cluster out and put some bulbs in it. All right, and just like that, really nothing to it. It comes out pretty easy. Hardest part's getting the connectors undone because you kind of have to partially pull the cluster out and reach your hand in behind it, but the tabs are not hard to push. We start from the beginning. You can see this little trim bezel. It has two screws at the top, and it just grab it at the bottom edge and just give it a little gentle pull, and it comes right out, and you just kind of have to work it between the dash and the steering wheel. The cluster itself, just like the Camry, has 4 screws. Pull straight forward and you can get in behind it to get what you need to get. Now, the light bulbs that are actually for the illumination of the dash cluster itself are these that are in blue, and there's 4 of them, and I have a feeling that these 2 right here in the middle are the ones that have failed. I have another cluster in here. Let's go in here and see if I can find some bulbs and holders that'll match up to this one and get it back working. All right, it's been a couple of days. We're back with the gauge cluster. Got it out of the car. Right in the middle of it, a good friend of mine showed up. I needed a tree cut down, and he happened to be in the area doing some yard work, and he stopped by, so kind of put us in a short. I got to thinking about this, and I wanted to do a little bit of a follow-up with the Camry and that ceramic oscillator. I'm curious, since I already have this cluster out, it's pretty simple to take apart. I thought we might take it apart and look and see if it's designed like the 99 Camry. I'm pretty sure that it is, but let's take it apart and let's find out. Okay, well, we got it pulled apart. It is not the same as the Camry, as I thought it was. No big deal. The way it comes apart is exactly the same, but I do not see down inside the little oscillator like is in that Camry. But doesn't mean that maybe they didn't go to using that on a later model. But on this model to the 97 Corolla to the 99 Camry, this piece is not the same. So anyway, we're gonna slap it back together and get to changing these bulbs, which is why we took it apart. Alright, just took a couple minutes, threw it back together. It's really simple. Some push tabs, a couple screws, it's no big deal. But what we're here to talk about as far as on this gauge cluster is the bulbs themselves. I said earlier in the video that I would see about grabbing some out of a used cluster I had. I just changed my mind on that. Went out. These are just 194. It's the number on the bulbs. They're fairly cheap. I don't know if those bulbs are any good, so I'm like, you know, forget it. Just go buy some. They're cheap, easy. They pop in and pop out. The only thing we're going to might have any kind of little trouble with, and we'll see, is they have these little silicone. I believe they're silicone, but they're like a little rubber cover, and it gives the dash a glow of a particular color. That's all it does. So I mean, if you don't get them back on there, it's no big deal. It's just it won't have a same hue as it did originally from the factory, but it'll still work, no problem. So you just twist the little bulb holder about a quarter of a turn, it pops right out, and then the bulb just pushes straight down in the holder, and you just take it out. Let's see if this little cover is going to slide off this bulb. Getting it back onto the, let's see if we can get it to roll. If we can get it to roll, it'll come. It should come on off. It's coming off. It's just being, it's kind of stuck. I don't know, maybe it glued itself to the bulb over the years. Yeah, it's tearing. Yeah, it's 20 something years old, been hot, no telling how many times, kind of glued itself to the bulb. I'm sure if you went out and looked, because I've seen these covers before, you can buy custom bulb covers and they just pop down over the bulb, because people are doing custom things with their dash, so you could change it to even red or yellow or whatever particular color you wanted. In this case, these are a light tint blue. I'm not particularly concerned about it. I'm just going to take and leave the covers off and just stick them back in. I just need to be able to see my speedometer at night. And yes, it is best if you don't touch these bulbs with your fingers. Oils from your hands can shorten the life of the bulb because it can create hot spots. These bulbs are not real high wattage, so they're not going to get real hot, so I don't think that's going to be a real factor with these, but you know, technically that's what you're supposed to do. So just pop your little bulb back down in there, line it up in the holder, and twist and lock it in place. Really nothing to it. So alright, we'll get set up. We'll put this cluster back in. It should go back in about as easy as it came out. Get this stuck back down in there. One of the hardest parts of this whole job, truly, is let's see. Well, you got to get the right sequence. Go in there, upside down, and then rotate into place. Hardest part of this whole gig is lining and plugging your connectors back in. And we'll start with this side. Where's it go? Where's the connector? It's right here somewhere. Let's see. Get this line back up. There it went. Snap back in. Yeah. You kind of have to do it blind. This is truly the hardest part. You just want to be real careful with this ribbon on the back of the printed circuit board ribbon. You want to be gentle as you can with that, because you don't want to tear it or damage it. But there it went. I said you got to be good at blindly finding a hole. There's a joke there somewhere, but I'll leave that alone. Alright, then you can just roll it on into place. There you go. And probably the second hardest part of this job will be putting these two screws in down here at the bottom. Again, it's not terrible. It's just you need a good screwdriver, one that'll hold on to the screws and do not drop them. And I don't have one right now. This is not a good screwdriver. Let me back up real quick and let me see if I can find a good screwdriver that will latch onto these screws and hang on to them. Alright, so what I found is I went and got a one of my bit drivers, and it holds the screw pretty well. I think I can do away with this section, but this bit happens to be stuck down in here, so we'll just use it like this. But this is the replaceable bit screwdriver, and as you can see, it holds the screw pretty good. Doesn't have to be monstrously tight, just snug it up. You don't want it rattling around. Turn that steering wheel out of the way so we can get down in there. Straight shot. There you go. Snug it up. And we've got two more. I think I can get these started by hand. Alright, now we've got that back on. We need to install our trim ring, and it's kind of tedious as well. But you kind of drop it in there upside down, and roll it into place. Or not. Finagle it in place because it came out. Let's see if we can come in from the side. That looks like that might work. Whoops. That's not working. So how do we get it in there? I don't know. I got it out. Let's see if we can slide it up in there like that. That's not working. Come in from the side maybe. Oh yeah. Come in from the side and make sure you don't scuff things up. Alright, so you just push it back into place. So bring it in from the side and push it in. Sometimes it's a matter of just finagling and figuring out the best way to do things. Because I really didn't want to have to drop the steering wheel down. A lot of this stuff is a journey of discovery, guys. You just have to figure it out as you go, and the more experience you get, the better you get at it. So, there's 2 little screws started. Take my little stubby screwdriver, snug it up. Like I said, you want them snug, you don't want to have to over-tighten them. You just don't want it to be squeaking and rattling. Alright, well, let's move it into the garage and turn the lights on and see if we can see the dash lights. Let's turn on the dash lights. Boom! Look at there. I will be able to see my speedometer now. That is going to be awesome. Alright, there you go. Pretty simple little straightforward process on throwing some light bulbs in the dash cluster on this 97 Corolla. Hardest part about this 97 Corolla is figuring out how to get the dash cluster out and back in, get everything unplugged and replugged, and a couple little maneuvers you have to make to get some of the components out. It's not real hard. I got faith in you. You can figure it out. Now, real quick, let's talk about the 99 Camry. Update on it. Speedometer is still working it perfectly. Have had no issues. Now, I'm gonna throw a card up here for that video. When I repaired it, I had a gentleman that reached out to me. He lives in South Florida. He had a problem with his dash cluster. Had tried to find the part at DigiKey like I had linked to. Due to supply chain interruption, they at the time did not have any. But when I bought mine, I bought 10. Okay, I had wanted to buy some extras because I wasn't planning on getting rid of this car. My dad's got a car like this, so I decided that we would just have a few extras around just in case, so we could keep our cars going. Now, all that said, he took his ceramic oscillators, took them to an electronics shop, had them solder them in. His speedometer's now working, and he's very pleased. So, thanks for watching the video. I hope it's been beneficial to you. And go down there and leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down. Either way, it's okay. And in the meantime, I'll be in the shop working. And if you need to know more about how to maintain your older automobile, watch a video coming on the screen right now.